Michael's on film again. Here to talk about 1970s, The Ballad of Cable Hogue, starring Jason Robards as Cable Hogue, directed by the inimitable Sam Peckinpah. It's got Stella Stevens as Hildy, Slim Pickens, the famous from Doctor Strangelove, yeehaw guy. Get yourself some cigarettes, some prophylactics. He plays Ben Fairchild. David Warner. He's in like Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, much older. He's in Time After Time with Malcolm McDowell. I think he plays Jack the Ripper in that. It's a time travel movie. But he's quite young here. He looks very thin and tall. And he's in the desert. And he's very British. He plays Joshua the Priest. And Jason Robards, he's an actor that I know, but it's funny because I can't really necessarily place him in too many things. In fact, what I know him most presently, because I might have forgot, I don't know, but I confuse him, with James Coburn, Nick Nolte. He's got the similar thing going on, but he's definitely got his own style. And I found out recently that Jennifer Jason Leigh, the actress, who these days is quite popular still, she says she actually got the Jason in her name because he was her godfather or something and a close family friend. And so she's trying to come up with an interesting film name for herself. Jennifer's original name, but she put the Jason in there. I'm not sure if it's her middle name or not, but she said that Jason is from Jason Robards. So I find that quite interesting, and it immediately made me take a liking to him, not knowing necessarily what his other stuff is. And I'll definitely be checking out more. He starts out, it reminds me of a lot of the Clint Eastwood movies, like, The Man with No Name. It's just this guy wandering in the desert. You don't know why or how he got there. He's looking for some lunch in the form of a lizard, big one. Some pleasant music is playing, which matches the title of the movie. And turns out this singer is interspersed throughout the film. But as I said, this is the first time I really remember like Jason Robards starring in a movie that I've seen. I'm sure I've seen some before, but I just keep seeing James Coburn or whatever in Flint movies, and I can't really say anything Jason Robards did. But he's a talent. He's starring in this. He's the main character, and he knows how to command the film. So one thing about him, I was like, he almost seems like he's possibly related to Chevy Chase a little bit. He's got the same demeanor and features and forehead and stuff. Just not as goofy of a guy. He's got more of a serious side, but he's still always got that tongue in cheek. So I was like, yeah, they're of the same ilk, if anything. So that was a fun thing because that guy knows how to command a movie as well. And yeah, in terms of Sam Peckinpah's films, this is an eccentric one. And that's an interesting thing because this is a career built off of eccentricities, and to stand out in those different movies is good. And this one has more as a lighthearted and fun. And it's got songs and they sing. And one movie that sprung to mind, although quite different in tone, but in terms of the comedy stuff, but McCabe and Mrs. Miller, with Warren Beatty and Julie Christie, which is set in the Northwest, and possibly the same time frame, but that was a Robert Altman movie. That one definitely takes much more of a darker spiral, although not only in tone, in terms of the storyline, it actually is quite similar. I'm sure he mentioned it before at some point, but it turns out that he's reveals to her out loud, at least, and to us, audience, his plans. He's set on revenge. So some Western tropes work way back into the film, and the guys who abandoned him in the desert for dead, apparently he's got his eyes. His mission is to get back at them. So yeah, he's not really necessarily taking too much action about it, other than just sitting and waiting. He says he knows they'll show up again, and she's telling him to let go. It's not healthy, it's bad. It'll rot your brain and make your life miserable. But he says he can't let someone get away with something like that. So yeah, these guys will show up at some point, not too long from all that, after she's already left, and this time he's ready for them. Although the ending is a bit bleak, quite fascinating, the whole hearing characters say out loud the true character or the main character, Cable Hogue. He says he's not afraid of dying, he's afraid of them saying the wrong thing when he does die. So he's like, well, I'm here and I'm still breathing, so he wants to hear what they have to say about his life. It's pretty accurate, pretty pinpoint. He's got the right guy to do it too, someone who's using pretty well, who's also on the other side of the cloth. So that's one of the more surreal moments in movies, in any movie that I've seen, is to hear someone describe the nature of our main character in a very accurate way. I mean, although there is a bit of depression in the proceedings at the final part, it does go back to the music, and the music is quite uplifting. And the whole credit sequence, it still gives you hope. The guy's soul. I mean, he's just fictional characters, but at the same time, these are inspired by real people, and we know people. I know people who are like this, and maybe we can learn. What can we take away from this movie, this film, and how can we grow and move forward and be better? Okay, so that's my thoughts on 1970s The Ballad of Cable Hogue, starring Jason Robards. Very interesting movie, great soundtrack, great musical pieces, and diegetic music with the actors along with the soundtrack. I remembered the word. But yeah, if you like the video, click like, and if you like my other videos, please subscribe. And until my next perspective, this is Nicholas on Film. Over now.
Ain't had no water since yesterday, Lord. Getting a little thirsty. Just thought I'd mention it. Amen.